everyone, Amy Bowser-Tennant here, the genealogy reporter, and today is Walkthrough Wednesday, where I walk through a genealogically valuable website to show you just what you might find there and how to use it. So today we're talking about GenealogyBank.com. This is a rather new website to me. I just now got my subscription. I've been playing around with that. I really am impressed with how much material is there. GenealogyBank.com is most noted for its newspapers and obituaries, though there are other things there. But when it comes to newspapers and obituaries, they have some exclusive material, which is pretty cool. I did a little search and had trouble finding out about their subscription prices. They do have a 7-day free trial that you can do, and I found their subscription for gift memberships was running right now about $79 a year or $49.95 for 6 months. I did note that some local libraries have a subscription to GenealogyBank.com that you can use there for free. However, the library edition of GenealogyBank.com is slightly different and has less collections than you would if you had a personal subscription from home. So let's hop over to the computer and let me show you what you can find at GenealogyBank.com. Okay, so here we are at GenealogyBank.com. I have already signed in, and this is what the dashboard looks like. I can search for free. So if I wanted to put in something here, a first name and a last name and a date range of an ancestor, I could do that, but I wouldn't be able to see all the full text unless I was signed in and had a subscription. So let's just pop in a name here. Let's do Daniel Tennant. And I'm going to put a range of his actual life range. I'm not going to do keywords. I am going to do a state. And I could choose the actual city and then go through and pick the city's newspapers, but I'm not going to do that. All collections. I'm going to do all collections. Let's just see what happens when we do a very general and broad search. So here at the next page, I see that I have 4 results. Not a lot. Let me scroll down and just glance at some of these. You'll notice in this case here, Richard, Will, and Joel Tennant. That's not who I'm interested in. This is interesting though. Daniel Tennant is mentioned here and here. Let's click here. So this is from the Baraboo Weekly News on May 30th, 1918. Let's zoom out a little bit. What's going on here? Oh. Okay, so this looks like there was a major tornado in the area, and they're giving us information about the aftermath of the tornado. And they go through, these are cities in the area or little towns, little villages. And Daniel lived in a place called Spring Green. So that is where his name shows up. Let's look through here. West Spring Green, Normandale lost residence, all other buildings, 3 horses, household goods, farm machinery. Several members on the Daniel Tennant place were injured when buildings went. This is interesting. David Creasy, all buildings but the dwelling. Well, David Creasy is another one of my husband's ancestors. So that's neat that I got both of those at the same time. I bet I could go back through and learn a little bit more about this particular tornado. Though it's a sad piece of information, this is kind of something that you might not think about, how weather affected our ancestors. Let's go back and see if we can see more about Daniel Tennant and these clippings. This is also from Baraboo News of Baraboo, Wisconsin, West Spring Green. April 5th, even though the newspaper is from the 8th, Daniel Tennant and family have moved on the Witzel farm recently purchased by David Jones. So I guess they were renting at that time. And this tells me exactly where they were living on April the 8th, 1909. That's a great piece of information. Okay, let's go back to our homepage, and I want to talk a little bit about this search. One of the things I noticed, if you have a name that is often misspelled, like the name of Quass, that's a surname in my husband's family tree, Quaas, Quass. When that happens, you really need to search with the different spellings so that you're sure to get the name that you're looking for. I even noticed that in the case of an ancestor with the last name of Creasy, Creasey, sometimes the E was left off and it was just Y at the end. So that made a difference in my search. I also suggest that when you have a really common name, you use filters to narrow it down. Let me show you what I mean. Let's put in Ralph Harris, 1901 to 1970, and Ralph lived in Illinois. Now, as you can see here, we have over 1,000 results. That is not good. We are not going to want to go through all those results. So over here on the left, if we scroll down, we can reduce the number of hits by filtering for the city newspaper or the city location and where something was taken, like a census. So I know that he lived in a few places that were particularly close to Peoria. So let's say I put my filter on Peoria and update the results. Now this is a much better number, 22. 22 items to look through to find information about Ralph Harris in the newspaper. See how easy that was? Definitely parameters, filters, if you will, really will help you to narrow down your search. If you keep putting in a name over and over, different spellings, nothing's coming up, it's not really the right person, you really feel like you're just not getting anywhere, I suggest you browse by newspaper. Let me show you that. So here at the top, we can browse newspaper by state. Click there. And I'm going to choose Iowa. My husband had a lot of family in Iowa. Now I can go down through here and pick a certain location and find any collection that has to do with that city in Iowa. And you'll notice, look at these dates. Some of them are very current. The year 2000 to current, 2008 to current. But then you'll also notice, like for example, in this Afton, the weekly Afton Tribune, we only have one issue of that newspaper in 1867. So, if you are searching for your ancestor who you know lived in Afton, Iowa, and you said, hey, they have the newspapers here, why isn't it showing? Well, if your ancestor wasn't born and living in 1867, obviously that's not going to show up in your results list. So it's nice to check to see exactly what newspapers and where are available at GenealogyBank. So I'm going to go back. Let me show you. We're going to go back and do Ohio, where I'm from. Wow, 486 newspapers in Ohio. We just kind of scroll down through here. Whoa, Cincinnati has a ton. No surprise there, big city. I bet Columbus does too, and probably, yep, there comes Cleveland. Lots of great things. But my ancestor was actually in Springfield. So I'm going to scroll up here to the top, and I'm going to filter by city and write in Springfield and see if there's anything for that. Okay, I've got a couple of items. Wow, really early issues from 1819 to 1823. 1887 to 1888, quite a few issues there, 522. 1885 to 87, only a 2-year span, but 725 issues. There's something a little more current. You can see I could look through here and find quite a few things from even very, very early and well up into recent times. Let's look closer at what we can do with collections. Let's do the obituary collection. Okay, we could type in any name here. I'm going to type in Bowser, that's my surname, no first name, and I'm going to look at all the Bowser obituaries for Ohio, and I'll pick the city of Springfield again, where the Bowsers lived, and see what that gives me. 15 results. Not bad. You can see that this page is set up slightly different. We have the name of the individual, a preview of the obituary, any relationships that might be noted here, and then the publication name and date of the publication. I'm looking down through here and I can see already that the majority of these, well, all of them, are more recent. 2008 and forward in time. So nothing real old. Let's take one more look at the collections and look at historical books. Now, if you notice, these historical books have a date, 1749 to 1900. That may be due to the fact that things that are more recent have copyright laws. Of course, we can always use Google Books and so forth, but this might have some exclusive material that Google Books doesn't. Let's put in here the name, let's do Simmons, and I'm going to do a very broad use there of my timeline. And you'll note I got 126 results. I can filter these a little bit better with a keyword, but you'll see we've got an academic exercise, we've got advertising cards. That's kind of neat. Let's take a look at one of those. Fall River Line, Grand Saloon, Steamers Bristol and Providence. Okay, between New York and Boston. If we click here, we can do a document source. We can also see page 1. Let's see page 1. Neat. This is the front of that card. Fall River Line, Grand Saloon, Steamers, Bristol, and Providence. So you never know what you might find on GenealogyBank.com. There is exclusive material, but like I said, it is best known for newspapers. And as we all know, newspapers can really add life to our ancestor. We can learn what they were doing. We can find announcements like birth, death, marriages. We can learn about the licenses they held, whether or not they were saloon keepers, or, unfortunately, we can also learn if they got into any trouble. So if you have an opportunity to give it a try, I suggest you hop over to the library and take a look and see if GenealogyBank.com has something for you and your family history. Thanks for joining me today. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I need you. I also encourage you to go over to Facebook. Look us up, the Genealogy Reporter, and see what other fun and inspiring videos and information we have there. Thanks, and have a super day. Bye-bye.